Let's now get some insight into perhaps what really happened from the point of view of the First Lady. The spokesperson of the First Lady, Mr. Aliyu Abdullahi, joins us on the program tonight. He's in our Abuja studio. Thank you so much, Mr. Aliyu Abdullahi, for talking to us. If you look at the tweet of the First Lady, it sounded as though it sounded as tweets from frustration. What is the state of mind of the First Lady as regarding this particular incident?
All right. Thank you, Sean, for having me. First and foremost, I think there is need for a background before we can talk about the tweets made by the First Lady. The background being that, for example, I can give example with myself. I have been in the trenches for President Muhammad Buhari since 2011, some of us longer than that. We canvassed, we promised people to actually vote for President Muhammad Buhari from 2011 to 2019. So we actually have a lot at stake, as stakeholders, to ensure we will pray and also support him to deliver on the mandates and promises made to Nigerians, especially people we canvassed to vote for him. So that is me, a small me. If you now look at someone like the First Lady, who has been with the president, married to him over 30 years now, her destiny, or let me say their destiny, is linked together, intertwined. There is no greater person or supporter of the president than the First Lady, because his legacies will affect her and will affect the children of their children, even after leaving office. So if you look at the past 5 years, what the administration of President Muhammad Buhari did, and this is purely my opinion, it did quite well, but a lot of works need to be done, are still ahead of us. And not much time is left. Only about 3 years to do that. And imagine if the president becomes sick, God forbid, that even makes it less time than that 3 years. So naturally, the First Lady is protective of her family, including her husband, the President Muhammad Buhari. So any threats or anything that will come towards the president in form of that will affect his promises to Nigeria, his performance, she will try to protect that. If you recall, when one of her daughters returned from London after her school was closed, she insisted the young woman to go into self-isolation for 14 days. She didn't see the young woman. Nobody saw her until after 14 days. Now, that's the nature of the First Lady, Aisha Muhammad Buhari. She protects her family and she protects the president. So that is the background I want to lay down. So if you ask about the state of the mind of the First Lady, I'm sure it is from the state of wanting to protect the president. We all know that this COVID-19 is real, and it's still here with us. And if you look at it very well, it is no longer a secret that people who have advanced in age are the ones at more risks of contracting it and risks of not surviving that illness. And we in the State House, we have a clear example. Our former Chief of Staff, late Mal Abakari, may God bless his soul, rest his soul, is a prime example for that. So if you look at the totality of that, it is not out of turn or out of the ordinary for the First Lady to insist that she protects her husband and her members of her family.
All right,
Now,
so
even some of us,
Mr. Abdullahi,
we have not actually...
Mr. Abdullahi, so let's get some of the questions on the minds of Nigerians. Since you're speaking for the First Lady and you are here with us, let's get some facts out there. And I'd like to ask you some very quick questions. Is it true that an aide to the president just returned to the State House?
Well, that could be true but what I know, I'll tell you, I think this is almost public knowledge. Whether a particular aide or anybody, all of us, the First Lady ensured that because she doesn't know where we are on a daily basis. So if you don't have a close proximity working relationship with the president, you are not allowed close to the president. You know, for more than 7 weeks, for someone like me, I haven't been to the residence. And that is me being her spokesperson. I haven't seen her. I don't go to the residence. So I think this applies to also all the other people working even on the side of the president.
If I may quickly ask these questions also, Mr. Abdullah. Like I said, I wanted us to have some answers to some quick questions. The question here, which a lot of people were worried about, which led to this incident, which is being reported now, is the fact that an aide of the president returned from a journey and the First Lady insisted that the president should go to self-isolation. Is that a fact of the matter?
Yeah, it's a fact.
So what led to the shooting?
That's what I want to say. See, for the shooting, I don't want to comment on that. Number one, I was not there when the whole incident happened. I left the office around 2 p.m. That is the vicinity of the villa. You know me very well, Sheun. I always speak facts and the truths. I don't speculate. I will not venture into speculation. And the president has already ordered investigation. We have seen the statement from the senior special assistant to the president of media, Malangarba Shehu. I think it's best we allow the police authority to come out with the reports of what happened, and perhaps then Nigeria can be informed about what happened with regards to the shooting. But with regards to the First Lady's insistence on anybody who works close to the president and steps outside Abuja, for example, you see there is still interstate traveling ban in place. Part of the quarantine law signed by Mr. President prohibited going out of the state if you are not part of the exemption lists that may be on essential services and so on. So if you go out, it's not out of the ordinary for people working with the president, you know, his security, to advise and aid that isolate yourself, you know, for the sake of the president, especially if you visit a state that is an epicenter of COVID-19. State like Lagos is an epicenter. So, and if the wife of the president, if the First Lady comes into the situation and also insisted, and that is why I laid that background, it is coming from a place of love. That place of love, place where she wants to protect her husband. And like I have said, it's no secret that COVID-19 affects, the more you are advanced in age, the more you are susceptible to that, and also the more your chances of not surviving it if you have advanced in age. So it is love and nothing else.
All right. So let me quickly ask you. These are two quick questions. Also, are the aides of the First Lady still in the custody of the police as we speak?
In my opinion, I think they are still in the custody of the police.
So tell us also and clarify for us, the aide of the president in question, is any of his aide in the custody of the police too?
I don't believe so. I don't know. The best answer is I should say I don't know because I don't know everybody that is in the custody of the police. But I know, since I work with the First Lady, I know that her security aides, the ADC, her escort commander, and other detachment of police that are attached to her office, they are in custody of the police.
Can you tell us, is the First Lady unhappy about some of the things that are happening around her husband?
Sheun, like what?
Okay, so if I may ask you a direct question, is there any possibility of some people who may want things other than what the First Lady wants for her husband around the president?
See, although I have not really fully understood your question, but I will still give you.
All right, so let me give you a
my
background so that I can
answer.
help. So let me give you a background so that you can answer the question rightly. So the First Lady has spoken out and spoken up about situation in the villa. And she's spoken about the cabal. She's spoken about issues that those who are benefiting from the office of our president are some people who did not work for the campaign. And she's also spoken up as regarding the performance from the office of her husband, saying that governance issues must be delivered. So I'm asking the question, it does look from the background you gave us that the wife of the president wants the good for the office of the president. So are there people around the president that the First Lady thinks they do not want as much good as she wants for her husband?
Well, there are two sides to answering that question, Shegun. First, number one, the examples you gave are quite correct. She had a public interview, I think, sometimes in 2016, and also when she attended an annual general meeting of the NSCI, and she called on the appointees of the president to help, Mr. President, in discharging their mandate so that the president can also be absolved and also deliver on his own promises to Nigerians. She made that call. The First Lady, everybody know in Nigeria, she means well always. And she always speak out until very recently. And because the reason why she has stopped speaking publicly now is because whenever she actually speak, people misconstrue or take her statement out of context. So, but she always meant well for the country, and her own agenda, or let me say, her own major focus is for this president to succeed and leave a lasting legacy so that she and her children can also have a bright future even after this administration is over. You have to understand where the First Lady is always coming from. Now, to the second leg of the answer to the second leg of your question, whether there are people in the villa that the First Lady is not happy with, I am not in her state of mind to answer, to know what is really in her mind, to answer that question, whether she likes Mr. A or Mr. B or not. I cannot. I have never discussed such things with her. So I wouldn't know. If I do that, if I say that, that means I'm venturing into the realm of speculation. And you know me very well, Sheun, I don't do that. I speak only the facts or what I'm briefed to actually speak on. So, but by and large, what I believe is it is one presidency. It is one government. It is one president. Whoever that is in that state house must have the interest of the president to succeed. And in a larger sense, all Nigerians, I believe, wanted President Muhammad Buhari to do well and succeed. And so are the people inside the State House. They wanted that as well. Because all of us, not only the first family, but all of us, our lives are intertwined and we have a linked destiny with the president. His success is ours. His failure is ours, like the rest of the country.
Mr. Ali Abdullah, spokesperson to the First Lady, Mrs. Aisha Buhari. Thank you so much, Mr. Abdullah, for your time tonight. I wish the First family well.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.